Hey there, Zane. Are you free to talk for a second? Are you going to be free this Saturday to hang out?
Hey there, Opal. No, I'm sorry, but we talked about this already, remember? I told you that I'm gonna be spending Saturday with my daughter, Amanda. I already know that we're going to be gone this weekend too, so I just don't think that we'll be able to see each other.
Oh, shoot, that's right. You did tell me all about that, didn't you? Sorry that I forgot. I guess I just really wanted to be with you. But yeah, I do remember you saying that it wouldn't really work out for this weekend. I just thought I might ask again in case anything changed.
Yeah, it's no problem, but is everything okay with you, Opal?
Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm just thinking that Amanda is already 10 years old, right? Don't you think it might be time that you finally introduce me to her? I mean, she's going to be starting puberty soon if she hasn't already, so I think it would be easier for us to get along if we met sooner rather than later.
Huh, you might be right about that. She is already in the 5th grade. And even she's been asking me when I'm gonna be getting married again. I suppose it can't just be us two forever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked for anything. I know that you already have a lot on your mind, right?
Oh no, you're totally fine. I think that I'm just the overthinking type when it comes to this, you know?
Well, that's okay. It's a lot to think about, but if your daughter is asking about you getting married, then maybe that's a sign that we should finally meet.
Yeah, you might be right about that actually. I'll talk to Amanda and see what she thinks.
Really? You'll really do that for me? Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. I've always wanted to meet your daughter. This is going to be great.
I really hope so. To be honest, I'm just a little bit nervous about it. I don't know if I'm embarrassed or scared or, well, I just hope that you two get along, really. I know that you'll do your best to get along with Amanda, but you never actually can know how a child is going to react to something like this.
Yeah, that is also a good point, but I promise to do my best to make sure that we get along together. And that way you'll have nothing to worry about between the two of us. I know it might take some time, but I can be patient.
Thank you so much for being so understanding about this, Opal. I really do appreciate it. I feel so lucky that I've gotten to meet and get to know a person like you like this. You're just so considerate. I was thinking about my daughter and I'm really grateful for how excited you are to meet Amanda.
Well, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? After all, if you and I get married, then that means she'll be my daughter as well. Well, even if our relationship doesn't go quite that far, I still want to be able to be there for her and at least get along well.
Wow, I still can't believe that you feel that way even though you're younger than me.
Are you really that surprised? You were the one that was upfront with me about having a kid, and so when we started dating, I knew what I was getting myself into. There are times where I wish that you and I could spend more time together, but I guess that's just a matter of waiting until we're all a family.
I know, I do wish that we could spend some more time together as well. You know that my wife died 10 years ago, and, well, I'm just really happy to have someone other than Amanda to share these feelings with. I feel like a lot of people don't really understand what it's like to be a single parent, so thanks for always listening.
Oh, Zane, of course I'll listen to you. I just hope that Amanda and I can get together as well. Even if she doesn't come to think of me as a mom, if I can even hold the place of an older sister, then I'll be happy.
Well, okay then. I guess I'll talk to Amanda and we'll see if we can't work out a time for us all to meet.
Thank you so much for doing that, Zane. I know this has been a long time coming, so I'm so happy that we're finally doing this. Hey there, Zane. I just wanted to thank you for inviting me over today. Please tell Amanda that I had a lovely time as well, okay?
No, thank you for coming over, and for that lovely bag that you got Amanda. She really loved it. Plus, you just have that sense of style that I really lack. I'm glad that there's so much I can learn from you.
Aw, well, I'm just glad that Amanda liked her gift. I wasn't sure what her style was, so I just went with what was in fashion.
Well, I don't know if I'd be able to pick either of those, so you did a great job. You should have seen us when we went out clothes shopping. Amanda's always getting upset because she always says that I pick out ugly stuff for her to try on.
Does she really say that? I'm honestly pretty surprised. I always thought you were a pretty stylish guy.
Well, I feel like it might be a bit more simple for you guys. You just have to not look like a slob, really.
Either way, I'm glad that Amanda liked the bag. I was surprised when she knew the brand, too. I feel like when I was her age, I wasn't as into fashion. But even her outfit was all coordinated. I guess maybe she's taking lessons from all your business meetings you've had to take her to when you didn't have a sitter.
Oh, man. Well, whatever the reason might be, it is true that Amanda has a sharp eye for fashion. She's always reading up on the latest trends and up-and-coming designers online.
Do you think she might want to work in the fashion industry in the future?
I'm not sure if she'll really think that hard about her future, but I think that's fine for a little girl. Sometimes I see her practicing her dance routines, and so, who knows, maybe she wants to be a pop star.
Ah, yes. I remember being her age and dreaming of the day when I would perform in front of all my adoring fans. And I think that phase only lasted a few months for me.
Well, I guess that explains why you didn't make it all the way to stardom then, right?
Something like that. But anyways, did you think that today went well? I didn't do anything weird or awkward, right?
I thought everything went great, actually. Amanda seemed to be really happy. Maybe a little surprised, but happy.
You think she was surprised? I don't understand. What was surprising about today for her?
Well, after you left, she was just going on about how pretty you were. Apparently, she was surprised that you were dating someone like me.
Oh, come on. She didn't really say that, did she? Because that's just too much. I am so happy that we got to meet today. I'll make sure to think of another good present to bring her for the next time we meet.
Come on now, you don't have to buy her a gift every single time you visit.
I know, but I still felt like maybe we were both a little too nervous to really talk to each other, so I figured that gifts can be a good way to break the ice for now. But either way, I am glad that we met and got to talk for the period that we did.
I'm sure that'll all come with time, and you just gotta give Amanda some more time to warm up to you, you know?
Of course, I can be patient. What is she up to right now, by the way?
Oh, she's just in a room by herself. I think getting to meet you took quite a bit out of her.
Oh no, I hope I wasn't talking too much. I really hope I didn't do anything to upset her.
No, it's nothing like that at all. She's just kind of a shy girl, so meeting new people can be a lot for her sometimes.
I see. Well, okay, that's good to know. I'll be sure to try and remember that for the next time that we all see each other. I was thinking that maybe the next time I come over, I could try cooking dinner for us all, if you think that would be all right.
Oh wow, that would really be great. Thank you so much for that. And you know, I've been thinking, now that you've met my daughter, I guess next time we have to think about when you can meet my parents.
Wait, what? You want me to meet your parents already? But we're not even talking about getting married.
I know, but we're in a serious relationship. And I think that I should meet your parents too. After all, I'm sure that they have their concerns about you being together with an older single father. So I just want to think that maybe we should find some time for us all to sit down and talk.
Well, I don't really think that my parents have any problem with us being together. Or rather, well, you remember how I told you that my parents and I don't really get along, right? So I really don't care all that much what they think about my relationships. In fact, most days I think it would be best if you just never met them at all. After all, they never seem to really show any interest in me, so I don't think you have to worry.
Are you sure about that? You never want me to meet your parents, even if we get married?
Honestly, yes, I really just don't want them in my life if I can help it. But I've come this far in life dealing with my parents like this, and well, it's just the kind of people they are. I just don't think there'd be much point in having you meet them at all. Besides, the only time they ever reach out to me is when they need to ask for money.
I see. I'm sorry, I guess I didn't realize it was that serious. I certainly don't want to force something onto you that you don't want to do. But I just want you to know that if there's ever a time that you want me to meet them, I'd be more than happy to.
Thank you so much for being so understanding about all of this, Zane. But I really just don't even talk to them if I can help it. So don't be surprised if that day never comes, okay? But I would love to go and meet your family. I'm sure they're lovely people.
Well, I just want you to know that I really am thinking about marriage, and I want to make sure that we do be right for each other. Of course, my daughter is always going to come first, but I'll always care for you, Opal.
And I completely respect those priorities of yours, Zane, but anyways, it's starting to get late, and I think I might go take a bath.
Sounds good. You've had a long day, and you deserve it. Thanks again for everything today.
No, thank you. I really do appreciate everything you do for us. And tell Amanda that it really was a treat finally getting to meet her.
Hey there, Amanda. I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be coming back home soon, okay? How's Grandma doing? Are you two getting along pretty well?
Hey, Dad. Grandma and I are going good, yeah. We just finished having dinner, and now Grandma said she was going to take a bath. She said that she was just going to do everything she normally does before going to bed and then drive back.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm glad that you two are getting along. By the way, I just wanted to ask you about this Sunday. What do you think about going shopping with Opal and I? You were telling me about how you didn't have enough warm clothes, right?
Oh, you want us to go shopping with her? I think I'm good. Thank you.
Wait, what? Why do you word it like that? Are you still nervous to be around Opal? I know she's new, but you'll never like her if you don't get to know her.
Dad, are you thinking about getting married to Opal?
Well, yeah, I am actually. And that's why I would like you to spend a bit more time together. That way you can see that you like her. And if you don't, then I won't get married, you know?
Do you really mean that? You want me to choose if you get married?
Honey, you mean the world to me, and I don't want to put you in a spot where you're not comfortable. Of course, I really don't think there should be any problems with Opal.
But there is, Dad. Please don't marry that lady. I don't want her to be my mom.
Amanda, I'm feeling a little confused about this. Did something happen between the two of you?
No, nothing happened, and when we met she was nice and all, but I'm scared.
Oh, honey, are you telling me that you're scared of Opal? What in the world makes you feel that way?
Well, I just know that she isn't good with kids at all. In fact, I think she's really mean to them.
I'm sorry, I still don't understand. What makes you think that Opal would be mean to kids?
Well, I saw a kid, I think he might have been 5 years old, who was hanging around Opal.
I see. So this is all because you saw something that scared you?
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm scared.
It's okay, honey. There really is nothing to be scared of. It's just you and me. You can tell me anything.
But it's just, well, even my teachers were telling me not to go around saying this kind of stuff. That's why I'm scared.
It's okay, Amanda. I want you to know that I'll believe you no matter what you tell me. Even if it's weird or difficult to believe, I just want to know what's going on with you. I mean, do you remember that one time you begged me not to go to work until I stayed home? And then later on the news that morning there was a horrible wreck on the road? I'm just saying, I think I should listen to your gut.
Thank you so much, Dad. I'm so happy that you'll believe me.
Of course, sweetie. Now tell me what you saw Opal do to this boy.
Well, the thing is that this boy kept calling Opal his mom.
This little boy was calling Opal his mom? But that's weird because Opal's never been married.
But I really did see it, I promise. I know what I saw and heard was that. But then Opal started throwing things at this boy and yelling at him.
Oh, wow. I see. Okay then, you've given me a lot to think about. I'll try and look into who this boy is.
Please hurry, Dad. I'm really scared that this boy could be in even more trouble.
Okay, Amanda, don't worry. Daddy's gonna look into this and try and make it right.
I'm so sorry to be doing this, Dad. I know that you really did want to marry Opal.
Amanda, please, you don't have anything to apologize for, okay? I'm sure that you were holding in those feelings for a while. So I'm the one who should be saying thank you for coming to me about this. You know, I've been noticing that you've been acting a little off. Is this why?
You mean you really did notice?
Of course I did. I brought you your favorite ice cream the other day and you barely even reacted to it.
I didn't know that you could tell so easily with me.
Come on, you're my daughter. Of course I'm gonna be paying attention to you. But please don't feel like you ever have to hide anything from me, okay? I'm always gonna be here for you.
Hey Zane, I am so sorry to do this, but work has just really picked up lately and I don't think we're going to be able to see each other for a while.
Your job is getting busy, huh?
Yeah, it's gotten pretty crazy over here. I've just been given a lot on my plate to deal with, and so I don't even think we should text for a little bit. I really am sorry about this. I know that you wanted us all to go out shopping together.
Oh, it's fine. Actually, I don't really want you around my daughter anymore anyways.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Did I do something to upset Amanda?
Oh, I think the problem goes much deeper than that, actually.
Zane, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. What's going on here? Do you still even want to get married to me?
I'm afraid not. I don't even want to keep dating you, to be honest.
Wait, what? I really don't understand where this is all coming from. I mean, I thought you said we were going to wait for Amanda to make up her mind, right? We've been together 2 years. You're not really just going to break up with me just like that, right? I thought that you liked me. Why did you even bother asking me out if you weren't serious about getting married to me?
You're right. I'm sorry that this has taken us 2 years to get here. But the thing was that I really did want to marry you.
I wanted it too. I don't understand what's happened. Where is all this coming from all of a sudden?
Opal, I want you to be honest with me. Do you have a kid?
What? Why would you even ask me that? You know the answer.
Well, you're right about that. I know the answer to the question and so much more, really. So, let's just be honest with each other. You have a 5-year-old son, don't you?
Zane, come on, are you serious? This is crazy. You know that I'm single and I've never been married.
Yes, I know that, and I also know that you had this kid without even getting married.
So then, you were looking into me? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, I'm afraid that I had to look into your life, and I'm sorry for that invasion of privacy.
Okay, you caught me. I didn't want to say anything about having a kid because I didn't want you to leave me or lose interest. That's why I told you I was single when we were first dating, and then I was just too scared to tell you the truth.
Why would you feel the need to hide that from me when I have a daughter, though? I was honest with you, Amanda.
I know, you're right. It was so stupid of me, but I don't blame you for being mad about me hiding my kid from you.
No, I'm not really surprised. Single parents do this kind of thing all the time to try and get by. But what I can't stand is how you treat that poor kid of yours.
What do you mean how I treat him? How do you know how I treat my son?
Well, I say treat because it can hardly be described as raising him. I know that you just feed him cheap instant noodles all the time. And that the reason you don't talk to your parents anymore is because they didn't like how you were treating him. Is that why we weren't going to be able to talk to each other for a while?
Wait a second. Did you go and talk to my parents about this, Zane?
That's right. The further I dug into the story, the more I had to talk to them. And I saw your son, too, playing in the yard at your house, but he looked so skinny and underfed. I just felt sorry for him.
Well, you have no idea what it's like to be a single mother. Not all of us can be as rich as you. I am shocked that you'd be judgmental about something like money.
But it's not that, is it? I mean, you're always getting manicures and pedicures, not to mention you're always wearing expensive clothing brands.
Well, that's because I have to show up for work and look professional, don't I?
I'm not saying that that in and of itself is a bad thing, but I am saying that your priorities aren't set correctly. And that's why I just can't be with you anymore. I'm sorry, but we gotta break up. You're not the person I thought you were at all.
Wait, no, please don't do this. I can change. If I get married to you, then I'll have more money to spend on my son. Please don't leave me.
After that, Opal called Zane over and over again, begging him to take her back, but Zane just ignored her calls and messages. Zane had heard from Opal's parents that the baby was born from a previous relationship where she slept with a married man. She ended up being sued by the wife of the man, and that's how she lost so much money. It was also when her parents cut her off. Opal avoided her own parents so that prospective new partners would never learn the truth about her. Zane reported Opal to the CPS, who ended up taking her son away when they saw the state that he was living in. After that, Opal moved away and no one has heard from her ever since.
Hey, Annie, are you there? There's something that I'd like to talk to you about. You see, my nephew just told me that he was going to be getting married. Did you hear about this?
Oh, hello, Martha. No, I hadn't heard that he was getting married, but congratulations, that's great.
What are you talking about? Of course this isn't great. This isn't great at all. It's so much more than great. It's fantastic. It's incredible.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry that I lacked the proper enthusiasm.
Do you have any idea who it is that Andy is going to be getting married to? I heard that his fiancé makes a solid $1 million every year. Not bad for a woman, huh?
So Andy's fiance makes $1 million salary? Well, that really is something, I have to admit.
Not only that, but she also comes from a very rich family with lots of money themselves. And to top it all off, she even went to one of the top schools in the nation. Oh my, where are my manners? I really shouldn't be talking about how great this woman is to someone like you. I'd hate for you to get jealous.
No, it's really fine. I think it's great that Andy is going to be marrying someone so smart and successful.
You really are a bad actress, do you know that? I know that you're just boiling over with jealousy right now, aren't you? You know that no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to live up to a woman like that. I just wish that my son could have someone more like her and less like you. I mean, doesn't my son know that you didn't even go to college? What was he thinking getting with you?
Well, I may not have gotten my bachelor's degree or anything like that, but I did manage to earn an associate's for some job training.
Are you really trying to brag about having an associate's degree? That's nothing. It's meaningless. But what else should I expect from someone raised by a single father? My Orwell should have known that you never make a good wife for him.
I'm sorry, Martha, but just what is it about me exactly that you think makes me a bad wife? I'd also appreciate you not talking about my dad in that way. He worked hard all his life to make sure I was raised right.
You really think that you could ever be raised right in a family where your mom walked out on you and just left you two alone together? There's no way that a useless man could ever raise a daughter right without the influence of a woman around. And that's how I know that you're not wife material. Oh, I just really wish that Orwell could wake up and realize that too.
I'm not sure where you're getting your information from, but my mom didn't walk out on us. My parents discussed things before getting their divorce, and it was all mutually agreeable.
But surely you've noticed that compared to other women getting married, you're woefully unprepared, right? I mean, you don't even know how to take care of a house all by yourself.
Well, I suppose someone who has never done anything in her life but be a homemaker would think that of my skills, yes. And for that, I'm really sorry, but you should know that I try hard to get better at it every day.
Well, if you want my advice, you should really try and take some cooking lessons. I think that's where you really screw up the most. So don't get cocky just because you've happened to make a few good dishes now and then, okay?
Oh, I didn't realize that I was being cocky about anything at all right now.
Well, what about when my family came over to the house to celebrate the New Year with us? You remember all the people who came, right? You must have thought it was so nice having men fawning over you, complimenting your cooking and style and looks. But you really just let that go all straight to your head, didn't you?
I'm sorry, but I really am not sure what one has to do with the other. But if you really want to know, yes, I was happy to have so much fun with your family. But I certainly never meant for it to appear as if I was taking that for granted or trying to show off at all.
Oh, please. It was so obvious what you were trying to do. I saw the way you were smiling and pretending to be so happy around everyone. You must have forgotten that they were there for New Year's and not you. But who cares as long as you were being complimented, right?
Martha, I'm really not sure where any of this is coming from at all, but I really don't think I was acting the way you remember.
Oh, please. I know what I saw, and I know how to read straight the kind of woman that you really are, Annie.
I mean, I guess that I must not be the kind of person that you like, but I just can't understand what it is that makes you act this way.
I already told you exactly why it is I feel this way about you. Weren't you reading my messages at all? Or were they just not making it through that thick skull of yours?
There really isn't any need for you to be talking to me like that.
Oh, please. You don't get to order me around. I know right from the start that my little Orwell should have never married a girl like you. But just remember that this is your fault for not being a better woman and a better wife. I hope that my son falls out of love with you and leaves you far behind.
If you have a problem, I can accept that, but please keep your comments about my marriage and husband to yourself.
You really telling me how to talk about my own son right now? You really do have some nerve, do you know that? But I'm only being honest. It's just a matter of time before he leaves you, and I hope it's sooner rather than later. And then we can all finally be rid of you for good. Hey there, Annie. I was just wondering how much longer were you going to take to finally get back home?
Well, I actually just did get back home, so here I am, I guess.
I see. Well, I'm glad to hear that you made it back all in one piece.
Thank you? Anyways, how are you doing? Did you also just get home from the family reunion?
Well, if you really must know, I actually went to a nice little family gathering today. It was pleasant and relaxing and not stressful in the least.
Okay, well, those are all good things. It sounds to me like you had a good time catching up with the family then. I hope that one day I can feel that same way at these family gatherings that happen.
Oh no, you should never be made to feel comfortable around my family. You should always feel on edge and like you're doing something wrong around them. Don't you know anything about being a wife at all? Don't you see how arrogant that was of you to say?
Was it really? I don't even know what I did.
You really are sad, do you know that? You barely helped at all in the kitchen, and you were completely useless. You humiliated me in front of everyone.
I really don't think that's fair. I was doing a lot of cooking and was only able to eat after everyone else had been served. In fact, the only reason I stopped to eat at all is because of the rest of your family insisting that I had done enough and deserved a break.
And you just did what they said in the first invitation? Don't you know that good wife should insist on working despite people telling her to stop? Don't you know of the rules of hosting your husband's family? You can't just stop working because someone tells you to. Honestly, don't you know anything at all? You really are just so embarrassing all of the time.
I'm sorry, Martha. I just didn't want to argue with your family, and I was getting pretty tired, so I thought it would be okay.
I don't care what excuse you've come up with to try and excuse yourself out of this. Why did you even bother showing up to this event when you're not part of the family?
But you just said that I was part of the family, right? I mean, you were talking about me hosting my husband's family, which I'd also be a part of, right?
This just proves you really don't know anything at all. You're nobody, got it? You're nothing to this family, and I don't appreciate you trying to sink your claws into my family.
I'm not trying to sink my claws into anyone. Besides, Orwell and I are literally married.
You think that just because you've married someone means that you're part of their family? You need to earn your place here, and it's going to take some time. And you are going to be banned from any further family functions until you've built up more trust.
But I felt like everyone enjoyed having me around. I didn't think I was doing anything awkward. Everyone was so nice to me. I thought I had finally started to ingratiate myself to them.
And just what in the world makes you think that you can be a fair judge of that, Besides, you only got that impression because, unlike you, my family knows the basics of manners and dealing with outsiders like you. But if you're just going to talk back to me like this, then I don't ever want to see you at another family gathering again. Do you understand me?
You really never want me to show up to another one of these functions again?
That's right. At least you seem to be able to understand that much. But I just can't stand you embarrassing me any longer. Now, we're going to be having a wedding in the family next month, but you are not to show your face there. Understand?
Are you talking about the wedding for Orwell's cousin? He and I both got invitations to be there. Wouldn't the rude thing be to not show up at this point?
There you go again, showing that you really have no idea how the real world works. You were going to tell her that something came up and that's why you can't show up. Are you really so stupid that you needed me to think that up for you as well?
But wouldn't it be weird if I didn't go to the wedding but Orwell did?
And just what would be weird about that? Why do you think that anyone would want some outsider like you showing up at this wedding anyways?
Martha, I think the only one who doesn't want me to be at the wedding is actually you.
Of course it's not only me. My husband says all the time about how uppity he thinks you are and how rude and embarrassing you're always being.
Are you sure? Because I really don't get that sense from the times that I've interacted with him.
Oh, so no, you don't think you know my husband better than I do? And if you have tricked anyone into liking you, it's only because you're being a little kiss-up. But I'm sick and tired of seeing you do nothing at our family reunions.
And your husband really agrees with all of what you're saying about me?
Of course. Neither I nor my husband like you at all, do you understand? And the rest of the family feels the exact same way. Nobody can stand being around you and my family, and that's why you're banned from any future family events. Do I make myself clear, Annie?
Oh yes, you make yourself crystal clear, Martha. I'll be sure to remember this.
Annie, are you there? This is an emergency. Get back to me as soon as you can. I need you to send me some money right away.
Wait, what? I'm confused. What is all of this about? Why do you need me to send you money?
It's my husband. Haven't you heard about him? He can't work anymore.
Oh, yes, I heard about him and that he'd gotten sick with something.
Well, it's true. The disease, he just ravaged his body, and now he barely has any strength to even eat, let alone work a job. That's why you need to start sending us $2,000 a month.
But I thought you said that I wasn't part of the family and that I was just an outsider, right? You told me that you didn't want me weeding my way into your family's affairs, remember?
What in the world are you talking about? Of course we're family, and family is supposed to help each other during times of need.
I'm only quoting things that you've said to me in the past. You told me that I wasn't part of the family and that I'd have to earn my way into it. That's why you told me to stop showing up to family functions or events, remember?
But you're married to my son. How can you say that you're not family when you're literally my daughter-in-law?
That's exactly what I was trying to ask you all those years ago, but you shot me down and insisted that you were right about everything. But the only people we think of as our parents now are my parents. You're the one who's nothing to us now. You're not a part of this family.
I knew it. I knew that you were no good, useless wife. I should have been more strict with you. Now look at you thinking you can talk to me like this.
You literally tried to ban me from participating in any family functions. You do realize that, right? If you didn't like the consequences of what you said to me, then you shouldn't have said that in the first place. Why don't you try being a bit more of an adult and take responsibility for the things that you've said? Because I am not going to sit here and pretend like you didn't start all of this first.
You rude little ingrate. You really are just horrible, do you know that? How dare you try and talk to your own mother-in-law that way?
I already told you that you're nothing to me, so if you think that you can just call on Orwell and I in your time of need, then that's too bad. I mean, aren't you even embarrassed in the slightest about asking like this? Besides, if your husband is really sick and can't work, then it sounds to me like it's time for you to get a job.
But you know that I've never held a job as long as I've lived. Besides, who in their right minds would hire someone at my age?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think places are pretty desperate for new hires. I'm sure that if you apply yourself, you'll find something. But I'm not about to let you start leeching off of us because you're too lazy to work.
And just who do you think you are calling me a leech, huh? What's wrong with a mother coming to her son and wife and asking for help like this? Why are you taking such a horrible attitude with me when you can see that I just want a little help? How can you be rude like this?
You're the one that's reaching out to me after years of not talking, and you're only doing it to ask for money. Why on earth do you think that I would have to be polite to you for doing that? You didn't even try to build up to asking for it. You really are such a nasty person to deal with. Do you know that? Why would I give money to someone who's been so horrible to me?
Ugh, I've had it with you. I don't know why I even bothered sending this message to you. I knew that I should have just gone to my son about this in the first place. I never want to hear from you again. Do you understand me? Annie, dear? Are you there? I just wanted to apologize for my behavior earlier and for the things that I said.
Didn't you just tell me that you never ever wanted to hear from me again?
Well, yes, but that was taking things too far. I shouldn't have said that. I guess I just got a bit flustered is all.
You mean you got upset because I told you I wasn't going to give you any money? And now you're only apologizing to me because you think doing so will get you money.
Well, I didn't think that Orwell would be so upset with me either. But he told me that he couldn't forgive me for the way that I had treated you.
I see. I actually was just getting some texts from Orwell about how mad he was that he had to deal with you again today.
He told me that he didn't want to talk to me ever again either. But I didn't even do anything. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I know that you're a good enough wife to know how to treat your mother-in-law, right?
Excuse me? You made me feel like an idiot just for wanting to get along with your family. You told me that I was an embarrassment, and now you have the gall to try and pretend like none of that happened? Do you really believe that, or do you just think I'm stupid enough to fall for this?
I don't think you're stupid at all, Annie. Please, let's not fight. That's not what I came here to do. Can't we all just be polite right now?
Oh, really? And just where was being polite with each other earlier today, huh? I don't care how many times you apologize to me, you aren't going to get a penny out of me. So go ahead and find someone else to try and mooch off of.
Please, I just need $1,000. Just $1,000 a month. We don't make enough money with our retirement to make ends meet here. Even if I were to work, it still wouldn't be enough. Besides, I still have to wait for my paycheck, and we really need the money now. Can't you just please help us until then?
I'm sorry, but it sounds to me like you'll just have to make some serious cuts to your budget. You might want to go and stock up on some instant noodles and other cheap foods.
You really can't expect people our age to live off that, do you? Please, we barely even have enough for groceries. Are you really going to condemn 2 seniors to having to live like this?
Sounds to me like you don't have much of a choice. Besides, it's not my fault you didn't plan better in your youth for when you would get old. But I suppose now you can really only blame yourself for how poor you are now.
Okay, fine. It doesn't have to be 1,000, but at least 500. Surely you can spare that much.
I'm afraid that you're really not getting it, are you? I'm not quite sure that there's much point in continuing this conversation at this point.
Please, don't do this to me. Don't you realize that you're going to be leaving me with nothing? I need money. I have debts.
Are you talking about the mortgage on your house or something like that?
No, not that. I've been carrying around a bit of debt with me for the past few years.
And just how did you end up getting all of this debt in the first place?
Well, I applied for a new credit card because my husband was always telling me to cut back on my shopping, and I didn't want him to know, and well, I guess I just ended up spending more than I expected to.
And just how much credit card debt do you have now?
It's about $30,000 with debt at the moment.
Wow, I really just don't even know what to say to that at all.
But I thought that we'd be okay. I didn't know that my husband was going to get sick. I thought that he'd still be working. I didn't think that he'd be forced to retire this early.
I see. And so I take it that you also don't have any savings at all to help pay off this debt then? It sounds to me like you're in a really bad situation, aren't you? And do you really think that we're going to help you out with this even after all you've said to me? Because it's just not going to happen. You both are just going to have to figure out how to live like this now.
You mean you don't feel bad for my husband at all? You don't care that he's ill and can't work and needs help?
You know, I hoped that your husband might have been different, but after the way you treated me, I realized that even if he didn't say anything about me directly, he would always laugh at jokes at my expense. I never felt like I was treated that way by any other member of your family, so now you two are on your own. Now, please, just keep your word this one time and never contact me or my husband again. After that, I heard through the grapevine that Martha did end up finding a job after all. But since she had so little work experience, she was fired from every place that would hire her on. As Martha tried to look for a job that she could handle, her and her husband had to sell their house and downsized greatly. Martha had tried applying to many jobs, but it took her a while to realize that the only one that would hire her would be ones that required no kind of skills or education. She hoped to find at least a desk job where she wouldn't be asked to do so much, but she ended up having to take on multiple part-time jobs, many of which ended up letting her go. Apparently what had happened to Martha's husband was that he collapsed due to overwork. For years, he had been the sole breadwinner and kept the house running by working overtime almost every day. And yet, despite his condition, after Martha began working, neighbors began to talk about how loud fights could be heard from their new tiny apartment. In the end, it sounded like Martha wanted to get a divorce, but knew that doing so would only hurt her financial situation further, and so she couldn't bring herself to do it. As time passed, however, the stress of living a life like that began to show on both of them. As for Orwell and I, we only keep in contact with my parents and almost never talk about Martha. My parents really love Orwell and think of him as the son that they never had. And Orwell does a great job taking care of them and helping out around the house when he's able to. Of course, I never wanted things to go the way they did with his parents, but I'm happy that we could still find family that love and care for us and that we can do the same for them in return. We still keep in touch with the rest of Orwell's family too, and they've all apologized for the way that Martha had treated me. They respect our choice not to talk to Orwell's parents, but still make an effort to include us in things where they won't be attending.